And we should be live. All right. What's up, Super Smash? Hey, game makers. What's up, Pharaoh Claw? How you doing?
Hello, hello.
Oh, yeah. So today is the last day for this event for you guys to submit your game. Touch the Stars Game Jam. If you want to make that sweet prize money, you got to submit a game to do that. I don't know how many people have submitted their game. I'm sure there's some people who have submitted a game. Why doesn't it say here? Is this page set up right? I'm a judge, but I'm not on the judge panel here.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
They're not doing the judging on itch.
Yeah, but like you can still just have an account attached and say like this, so that we can look at the games and stuff. I can't even see any of the games that are submitted. Like, I can't do anything. All I can do is wait. I can't do shit. I don't know what games have been submitted. I don't know who is joined. I don't know anything. I've got no communication. Like, it's been radio silence. Like, I'm supposedly judging this, but I have no idea what the fuck is happening with it. But anyway, you got 13 hours left to submit your game. I'm sure if you submit your game, it's submitted and it's set up okay and that'll work. And then, you know, like, I just can't see it because I haven't got any site privileges or whatever. Vino with a $2 super chat. Hey, what's up, Vino? How you doing, man? Thank you for the $2. Appreciate the support. Hump Day. Hello, all.
Thank you, Vino.
Thank you, Vino. What's up, Wrath of Wood? We got Veraclaw, Super Smash, Wrath of Wood. Vino's here. You guys are awesome. What are you guys up to? How's your projects? Are you guys participating in the Touch the Stars Game Jam? I think this is a cool event.
I'm excited to see what kind of games come out of it.
Me too. I want to see. I don't know. Like, all I can tell is from our Discord. Like, the only thing I can tell is from the... Oh, now I have a text. Okay, great. Komodo Game Jam. This is the only information I get about the Game Jam right here. People are posting. And Hidden One, there's nothing wrong with this beautiful image. There's nothing wrong with this. Just submit this how it is.
Most Game Jam games have placeholder maps at the end. Like, you just try so hard, but in the end you just have to submit what you got. I had a placeholder map for sure.
I don't know. It's gonna be cool. I know, like, once I can see the games, or once the games are given to me, we're gonna be able to really talk more about what looks good and what doesn't. Obviously, I'm not going to live stream them until like this. Like, I won't live stream any first impressions on the Jam games because I don't want that to skew my. I don't want the audience to spoil anything, and I don't want to. Usually, it doesn't happen too much, but
play it privately.
I'm going to play them all privately and give my scores. And then if I feel like sharing like one that's really good or one that I want that's really, really super bad or super good, or I feel like it needs to be seen, I'm going to stream it because I think people would like to see it, you know. So maybe there'll be a few stream games that I stream from the Jam. Hopefully there's a lot of entries. I'm hoping for 100. But I don't know how many has actually got submitted because I can't tell. I don't have any permissions. All I can see is that 300 people joined. And from our experience, we get about 50%. So if we get 50%, that's a really good turnout here. 327, that's 160-something games, 163 games.
That would be cool.
That would be a lot. That'd be fantastic. I don't really personally think there's going to be that many because it's a larger number, but 100 would be nice. I think
I think the larger the number it gets, like, it changes.
The less percentage, yeah, the more the.
The one that I did had 650 entered and only 260, or 650 joined and 260 entered. That's almost half, though. It's close to half.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the ones that we've hosted has been around like 100-something submission, or 100-something entered, and like 40, 50, sometimes 30 submissions.
We had we had 54 submissions last time, but
We
some of them had to be
disqueued.
disqualified, and one of them was pulled.
So we had 49.
We have 48 in the end.
48?
Or, I think
49.
I think the number goes down. The thing is once the jam is over, if people take their game off of itch, the number continues to go down.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
we played 49.
We
I
did,
think.
yeah. That's
so,
true.
So for our game jam, we put it up and everything. At the end of the day, we had 49 submissions. I'm expecting more than that on this game jam.
Oh, Vino's got a good idea.
$5 super chat from Vino. Thank you so much, Vino. Appreciate that. Maybe just record the footage of all the gameplays and then crop out the footage of you raging at bad stuff and make a mashup. That's too much work, Vino.
I know,
don't want to
editing
do
videos
that.
is so hard.
Also, it'll take the fun out of playing the game because here's the thing: if you're not a streamer or you haven't recorded yourself before, then you may not understand. But play a game on your own and see how much you enjoy it. Now, stream that game and see how much you enjoy the game.
There's a difference.
There's a difference.
Yeah.
You're not going to enjoy it as much because you're distracted. You're not as involved with just the game. It takes longer, so it throws off the playtime a little bit because you're talking with chat, you're hanging out and stuff, and that's the biggest reason why I want to play it off camera first, is because I don't want the playtime of an hour to be messed up by talking to chat for 20 minutes, which is what I normally do.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna just play it. Maybe I'll record them with no intent to actually upload the video, because I have no problem with doing that. I just got a new hard drive, so that's great. And so I'll just have footage, and then if I want to just like cut footage from the game, we'll do that. I'll do that. I'll just record my playthrough with game audio.
Yeah.
And if I want to talk over me playing the game,
Do like commentary.
I'll
or
do a
whatever.
commentary on
Yeah.
it, like a review
Yeah.
or something.
That makes sense.
That'd be easy, because then I don't have to shut down what you're
Yeah.
doing. Baby's gonna be making a ton of noise.
Right.
So the microphones, I'll record. Thank you, Vino, for that $5 and a good
Yeah, thank
idea.
you, Vino.
I think this is what I'll do. I'll record it with no microphone so that I've got the game audio, and then I can edit that if I want to post a quick review on it, like smash it down into 2-3 minutes or whatever, or 10 minutes, and then just do a voiceover.
Yeah.
And talk about what I liked and didn't about it. So that's a good idea. I'm not saying I will do that for sure, but I'm going to just record them. The editing process always takes extra amount
oh my
of time.
Gosh, editing a video takes so
Recording,
long.
yeah. Recording a video is easy.
Yeah.
Live streaming is a lot easier than editing videos. I'll give you that for sure.
And it's like folding socks. It's just like this repetitive, tedious task that you do 100 million times before you're finally done.
I need to hire an editor, yeah. You got to have a lot of money to do that,
Yeah.
because I don't like paying people shitty rates.
Right.
Give people, good money for their time. And so I don't hire an editor because I can't afford a good editor. And it's fine. I mean, I need the practice anyway. The problem is, it's not that I can't make a good edited video. It just takes so long. It's so much work. And it doesn't equate to dollar signs. It doesn't match. The return value doesn't match the time investment that you have to do unless you're already a massive YouTuber, which I am not. So if I had 10 times the number of subs, I would feel more justified, not just subs, but also views. I would feel more justified in spending hours and hours editing all of my videos and stuff. And I do minor edits on certain tutorials and stuff.
The
That's
funny
it.
thing is that like before, when he would do tutorials and all that and super editing, he was spending a ton more time doing
Oh,
it
it
and
takes all day.
making less money,
Yeah.
making less
It's
income.
true.
So like it's just not.
And then
in
I'm
the
just
end, it
like, you
doesn't
know
make
what?
sense.
We gotta chill and do
Yeah.
a live stream type of thing. And then we ended up making a ton of money off of a few people who super chat a lot.
Yeah.
And that comes and goes, you know what I mean? You can never count on that being a thing,
No.
and we don't. It's not like it's not a thing that you rely on, but it is. It does support. It
Yeah.
does help when that does happen.
It
So
pays
thank
the
you, Vino.
bills.
Appreciate that.
It pays the bills.
Yeah, it does. It helps. But yeah, I wanted to talk about this today, the game jam, because look, your time's running out to submit your game, and I know 327 of you are interested.
12 hours.
12 hours. You can't submit it anymore after that.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, I just wanted to boost the signal. You know what I mean? One last boost the signal.
Oh, it's getting down to the wire.
Yo, submit your game if you haven't already to this Touch the Stars Game Jam hosted by Komodo. Thank you, Komodo, for sponsoring this whole event. We appreciate that.
I know, at the end of the jam submission period, though, you just you put in what you can. There was so many things in both the jam games that I did that I wanted to do more of, but you run out of time. Just let your birdie fly free. Let the world have it.
Let the birdie fly. I'm a peacock. I need to fly. All right. All right. Now I'm just going to dick around and talk to you guys and work on my project. I hope you're okay with that. I just wanted to boost the signal real quick and let everybody know that you should submit your game if you haven't already. And now if you want to hang out and watch me work on my game, you're more than welcome to. I'm also going to answer any questions you may have about RPG Maker or anything that I may know about. Blah, blah, blah. I need to get work done. So yeah, let's mess around a bit here and do this. It's going to be just kind of chill. Me working on a project. All right. All right. I got bills to pay, yo.
Yeah.
I got a game to sell. Chris Williams, I dropped out a couple weeks ago. At least I'm not inflating the joined count anymore.
Yeah. Well, if you could do it, you can. If you can't, you can't.
Yeah. Wrath of Wood says, what am I working on? I'm working on an idle RPG called Ronin Idle. And it's just what it sounds like. It's an idle RPG. If you don't know what that is, awesome. There's a lot of good ones out there. There's a lot of free ones. There's a lot of sucky ones. But nevertheless, there's some good ones out there. I recommend this one. It's called Melver Idle. That's probably my favorite one right now. I just keep it running. I just keep it playing, and it's not like I spend a ton of time on it, but I keep it up, and like my guy is constantly making progress. And I must have 1,000 hours according to Steam, but I probably only put in 10 or 20 hours of actual doing stuff on it. But I feel like this one's a $10. This one's a $10 game, and I feel like I've got my $10 out of it in value for the amount of thought that it's taken to spend, the amount of time I've spent on it, and I've enjoyed the process. So this game and a few other of them like this have inspired me to make my own, and I realize that there's actually a nice audience for this. It's sizable. It's similar to an RPG Maker type of audience. It's a little bit bigger, but there is a little bit of crossover. And so if I put in some RPG Maker elements, what don't make it look like an RPG Maker game, then I can get some crossover and maybe tap into both of the markets there and up the value. I know it'll be worth my time in the end once I put it up for sale. And if it flops, then it flops, and I'll try to figure out what I did wrong, and so that the next one could maybe bring in some money. And I think that's just the process. I do enjoy the process, and that's the number one thing. I love working on this project, and I can't say that about all the projects I've worked on in the past. So that's a big thing. Do you like what you're doing? If so, then can you make money with it? If so, try to. Do something, get good at it, and get good enough so that you can make money doing it. And but don't let the money of it be the sole reason of it, because if it is, when the money is not there, you're gonna stop doing it, because that's how it'll work. I've decided that I'm not going to use this as strength training text, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to change these components and actually just take this component out.
Super Smash says, my game might only have unwinnable battles at this rate. At the rate I'm going, the first battle is unwinnable. It's way better to make it too easy than too hard for a jam game.
I have to agree with that. Go on the easy side, especially for something that you know that a lot of people are going to play for a short period of time. Go with the, like, oh, it was a little too easy. It's better than it was a little too hard.
Yeah, because then, like, if you want them to play your hour game and you've made it so it's definitely under an hour, but the battle takes too long or they die and they have to redo it, well, they're not getting to the end of your game.
Yeah, I feel like this is just a redundant, unnecessary thing. You'll be able to check your level on another page. Well, I don't know. I'm working on polish right now and trying to make it look very, very good so that it feels polished and it looks nice. I think what I'm going to do is include a plus on something here. So I'm going to move this, was it stats group? What do we got? It's this whole stats group. I want to move the stats group.
Hey, Arrow.
I'm actually just going to delete these right here. This component, this, I'm going to start deleting components here. This can go, this can go, this can go, this can go. I'll keep buff groups there because I'll probably put something in that. But then I'm going to move my stats group. I'm going to right click, edit the stats group. And we're going to position this negative 500 something. I can do this too, can hold control and middle scroll button to manually do it like this. So this is the reason why you want to use groups, because you can move stuff around a lot better. I'm going to move it here for now. Let me get this whole entire HP MP group. They're all part of the actor params group. Okay, let me move actor params out. Stats buffs. Undo with Control Z. What I'll do is group these into its own thing. Stats. HP, MP, TP, Stamina. I'm going to add a new component here, and I'll create a group inside of a group. I know it looks like a lot of folders. This is going to be bars group. Setting to 00 for specific reasons. It doesn't ever work the first time. You have to go in and do it twice for some reason for setting groups. But then I'm going to move this to the main params, and then I'll move this inside here, this inside here. TP and stamina. And then I'm going to organize them so that they're like looking the same. Now from this group I can move, oops, this one. Okay, so that's the problem, is I need to move it a little bit first. Just go negative 100 and it'll pop out, and then I can manually grab. Come on, bro. Bars group, this group, edit bars group, negative 200. Hold on. What the fuck? Active params group? That one's zeroed. What is all of this over here? Bro. There's like some weird bug shit happening over here. Do you see what's happening? Alright, actor params group. No. Why? Okay, edit actor params, exposition negative 200. Why did it move all of the groups? That doesn't... Oh, I know why. Because All of the groups are inside of that group, so all of those groups move. Equipment doesn't need to be in this group. Let me undo this change. I'm going to bring them out so that they're not that way. There was a big mix-up. We had like bars inside of equipment group. All right, we can close this. We can close this. This. All right, so now the bars group is on its own. I should be able to grab it and only move that. Yes. That's great. This is good. This is what I wanted to do. Now I'm gonna... Wait, why did it not save my positioning here? Do you see this? Why is it like not saving? This is so weird. Is it? Oh, it's not allowed. You're not allowed to do that? Okay. Fine. Yeah, okay. So they can't be... the groups have to touch the screen. So then it would make the most sense to keep the group in the center. The group button in the center. I have borked it a little bit, yeah. It's a learning process. It's not the easiest to use software. It's great software. It's just not the easiest to understand at first. Okay, let's try moving. Man, I really messed this up. $10 super chat from Vino. Thank you, Vino. Appreciate that. It won't save a position that's off the grid more than touching. Yes. So you should drag the elements out of the group, set the group box where you want it, and move the items back into the... I was hoping I could avoid that. I really was hoping I could avoid that. But I think that's what I have to do. That's sucky. That's really sucky. Okay. Let's do that then. Thank you, Vino. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Vino.
All right, so let's just go like this with one at a time, maybe. And I'm going to delete this HP group. I'm going to make a new component. This new HP group. I guess I didn't need to delete it. I just needed to move it, right? Move it first. This is also not supposed to be in the bars group. So the gauge should be up here, and then all of this should be on top of it in any order, really. Then I could move this group like so. Okay. Let's move these out. Oh my gosh. Then we move the MP group in the center. 640. Wait, 360. Then we put this here. And the gauge has to be bottom layer. Excuse me, sorry. Then I can move the group over here. Hey, that works. Let's move TP group out, then move everything out of TP group. That would make sense to, why the groups start center. I didn't realize that they had to be touching. Is this button supposed to be changed when you've submitted? Asked Treehan. Yeah, it should. Did you log into your itch account? You should be logged into your itch account and then submit your project. Treehan, you have to add it to your profile. You have to add it to like your itch desktop. And then this shouldn't say submit, right? Harshly? Like, let me help. Let me see if I can. Alright, so on your itch page, you want to log in. Check up here and make sure you're logged in. And then go to your dashboard and you should see your game. Like you should have your game in here, right? So you're going to upload your project in here. And once you have your project in your projects here, then it will be selectable when you submit your game. So then you go to, where is it at? Did I jump from it? No. Freaking A. Oh, here it is. There it is. So many windows. So when you go here, you'll see that you're logged in. Join the jam and then submit your game and select from one of the games in your portfolio how to do that. That's how you do that. You just select the game and that's how you do that. And it should change, right? It should say something different. Or maybe, okay, hold on. Maybe because it allows you multiple entries, it leaves it as submit because it allows you multiple entries. We're talking about like this button that says join jam, and then Treehan was like saying, should this change once he's submitted his project? But because you can submit more than one project, maybe it doesn't. Yeah.
If you really want to confirm, you could also contact Studio Blue and they'll confirm with you whether or not it's been submitted.
Well, they should.
Yeah. But yeah, I think probably I would agree. Because you can submit more than one project.
Yeah, that would make sense. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, get that cleared. BG says, I've got 3 minutes of gameplay. Yeah, I'm not submitting it.
Aw. 3 minutes? But if it's 3 minutes of gameplay gold.
What if it's really good? What if it's the best 3 minutes of somebody's life?
Yeah.
BG, don't doubt. Don't underestimate your power.
Oh, they're talking about bug testing? I think I spent 5 full days just bug testing. I spent a lot of time bug testing on the last one, the River City Ransom one too, but that one was unsalvageable. there was no fixing that project.
That bad, huh?
It was just a mess.
I'm kind of eyeballing this here. Hopefully it works. Hopefully it looks okay. All right, now we put the TP back in here. Grab the stamina, take it out. Go like this, take all the elements out. So it's a little process. Man, I've been giving, I told people, just put your things up here at 0, 0, because it helps when you're adding when you're trying to align them with numbers. But because you're locked on thing, you can't move your element around. It makes sense to put your groups right in the center where they default to. So live and learn, live and learn. All right, let's move the group, right? The stamina group should be brought to the center. 640, 360. There's a reason why it defaults to the center. That's so you have as maximum space as you can in all directions to move the entire component list, I suppose. That's fine. Bring all this back in here. Now we can move the whole stamina group. Ah, it's so painful. There we go. Just bring the HP one down a bit. Match. Ah, it wants to snap, that's why. Okay, let's fix this. Control. Come on, baby. It just wants to snap.
Oh, snap.
Oh, snap. Come on. There. That's good enough. Boom. I'm sure I'll move it around 100 more times, especially like these numbers. They're not like lined up exact. I'm missing...
Super Smash. Join the club. Everybody's got a bajillion ideas. It's just a matter of executing them. What's the saying? Ideas are cheap, or talk is cheap, or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ideas are cheap. Execution is expensive. Or
Yeah.
something. I don't know.
We could come up with a saying if we were good at coming up with sayings.
Sir Legna, he's gained HUDmaker experience. 10 more points to level up. Yeah, I'm level 2 with it.
Does anybody know when the judging period starts and ends? It should be listed on the itch page. Should be able to see it there. If you can't now, you will be able to once it starts.
Actually, I've been using it for a little while. If the scale was level 1 to 99, I would say I'm somewhere in level 50s or 60s.
Drifty's pretty good at it. I'm actually secretly relying on him for when I do my game and I start to use the HUDmaker, because now I absolutely have to use the HUDmaker after seeing it.
Well, I mean...
And he's going to just help me a lot.
Now it's no longer a secret, right?
Yeah, no, it's out in the open now.
You just foiled your secret. Stats group definitely needs to be moved. So, unfortunately, I have to move all of these elements up above stats group. But I'm going to try to keep them in the exact same order so that I can... Because I've meticulously ordered these, and I'm sure I've put some things out of order now in the last few minutes. I also need to save, because when you're moving shit around with right click, it does crash with the component list. It was all custom coded from scratch, and it's an impressive feat, but it does have some bugs with the component list, and it hasn't crashed luckily today, but it can, and it does at some points.
Hey, ready? Yeah, Aurelia, I don't know how to say
Aurelia?
your name. Paulson. You'll be able to tell when the judging period ends once the submission period is over. I can say names.
Okay, now I have the group that I can move. Sweet. This is what I wanted. Because this component list goes out to here. And it was cramped up on this. And I want to add a little plus number over here to show the level of strength training that the player has received. So I'm going to line this up with the equipment, giving some room for a plus number, like 3 digits or so. Boom. That's all you need. Just a little bit of space right there.
Super Smash, you should make visual novels. There's a market for that.
Yuck. There's a huge market for visual novels. I'm just not in that market.
Same. I like interactive adventure games, like if they're done well. I've learned that I definitely like
Here's
those.
the thing. If you're going to make a visual novel, you better know how to draw some sexy anime. Because if you want it to sell, my dudes, my ladies, you've got to put them tiggo bitties in there. Not necessarily that, but you have to have some kind of sex appeal to sell your visual novel. Because if you don't, you won't.
Yeah.
That's how you know your life is out of luck, fool.
Visual novels are like video game porn.
The Coolio reference from 20 years ago.
Coolio, that song is like one of the best songs that has ever existed.
I remember buying a Coolio
history.
CD. Kids nowadays are like, "What's a CD?"
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, "You little bastards."
What did one of them ask
You
us
don't
last night?
know pain.
Who's O.J. Simpson?
We had to explain who Johnny Cochran was and O.J. Simpson was.
Yeah.
And the fiasco of his white Bronco driving 30 miles an hour in a 55, being chased by police for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
It was just a crazy time. And then the guy gets arrested for stealing his own memorabilia from a fan.
So bad.
Why?
Bad.
You literally get away with murder, and then you get arrested for stealing your own memorabilia.
Awful.
Like, he didn't own it. It just was like, it was like signed by him, and somebody had it, and they sold it, and like, OJ's like, no, that's mine. He was like cracked out or something. I don't know. I don't claim to know.
Randall Nation says, "What's up, Drifty? Long-time listener, first-time caller."
Hey, Randall Nation, how are you doing? Thanks for watching for so long, and thanks for saying hi. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Feel free to make yourself at home and ask any questions you may have about what we're doing, and we'll do the best we can. Vino remembers the OJ fiasco. He's around our age. A lot of the audience, of our audience, is millennials. It consists of millennials. Some a little older, some a little younger. Some was it Generation Y or something?
Yeah, some Gen Y, some Gen Z, but mostly millennials.
Wait,
no, we're Y.
Gen X. Gen X, yeah.
You know,
Gen Y was millennials, got
that's a
renamed.
stupid name. I'm glad it was
You know what I
renamed.
thought was kind of cool?
It's like, why?
Lily was born, and it was like Generation Alpha, because she just goes to A to Z and then restarts.
Right.
So it was Generation Alpha, and I'm like, that sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, it does.
And then they're like talking about renaming it the COVID generation. I'm like,
Sick.
that's a stupid name.
It is.
Like,
I hope they get to keep Alpha, because that's a wicked cool name.
Generation Alpha. I think
They're like the boss generation.
She is a boss, though.
She is a boss.
Yeah, she's
totally a boss.
She's 2 going on 20.
She is.
She's like, I will do it.
She took out the trash yesterday.
She wanted to take the trash out. It was so adorable.
The boys took the trash out, and she's like, well, I could take the trash out,
She came
too.
to me,
So
brought her shoes. She's like, shoes. And I had to help her put her shoes on. And then she went to the trash can, and I went to get it, and she's like, no.
And she's pulling the bag out.
She does
ready.
Little turd.
She's so cool.
She is. She's a cool thing. She's a cool little thing, man. Can't quite explain it to people. I don't like talking too much about it because people are just like, oh, shut up about your kid.
I know, right? Until you have a kid, you don't know the obsession that you wind up having with your children.
Aurelia says they're called Gen Alpha because they're still in development.
No.
Generation Beta, that's going to be rough.
Yeah. Sad times.
All the poor soy boy Generation Betas of 20 years from now.
OJ was in Roots, too.
Was he really?
Yeah.
He was an actor / NFL star?
Yeah, and he played like a big role in Roots. And Roots was like one of the best books ever written. So like it makes me so sad. They need to make a new Roots without OJ Simpson in it.
They might. I don't know. They might do something like that. I was kind of... They did like a new series on the Underground Railroad and it was fucking dumb. It was so stupid.
Yeah.
The story
there was no historical accuracy whatsoever.
Like, at least be truthful and real about what the history of the past, and they just like glamorized certain things and made other shit up, and
they
it was
put
just so
a train
stupid.
underground.
There was no real train.
There was no real train.
It was a metaphor, and it was like whatever. I don't want to go into it again.
Yeah.
I think we talked about it.
But we wanted to love it.
I tried to like it. I'm like, cool, it's good. Let's talk about some more shit that happened in history that people don't like to talk about. And I'm like, I hope they do a good historical accuracy, and they didn't. And also, the cinematography was just the worst.
Unbearable.
There's like so much blinding light, and like you can't even see what's going on because the brightness is so.
And the sound would go like to a whisper,
sound was
and
like,
then
and
eardrum
then super loud,
shattering. Yeah, it was just really bad.
I'm trying to figure out what the fuck I'm doing. I need to add some new components now that we've got this set up here. Stamina group needs to be added back into the bars group. Bars for days. Not in the TP group, though. Jeez. HP, MP, TP, stamina of the bars group. Where is the bars group? The bars group is up there. Let's fix this. All right, bars group, you need to be center, 640, 360. There's a reason why SRD defaulted this to the center, because that's where it makes the most sense. Drifty. All right, we're going to get there. We're going to get there, guys. It's going to happen. Let's add those components. All right, let's go to stats group. Boom, boom, over here. And then I need to add, here's our attack value. After the attack value, I'm going to add another component, and it's just going to be text, and it's going to be bonus value. ATK bonus value. And it's going to look at a variable. The strength level. And we're going to put it in like a green font. It should match the size of these other elements. Sorry, 28. Also doesn't need to be that large, giggity. Left. And then I need to either add a plus or something. Oh, I can add a text right here that says skill bonus. Just a blank text, just a regular text that says skill bonus. I'm also considering starting them at defaulting them to 0 instead of 1 for numbers' sake, for OCD's sake. Let's put a small font size here. Sir Legna, it's almost as if the developer codes up defaults with some type of logic behind it. What screen resolution are you using? 1280 by 720 shortcut. In hindsight, since I'm using no actual tile set, I could probably could have got away with 1080 p, but I'm gonna just make this first one in 720p because I'm so far along in the process that I don't want to redo everything. I need to just move forward. The next one, if I make Ronin 2 or whatever I call it, it'll be 1080p. That's for the game. This game, and we're gonna the stream is 1080p on a 4K monitor, but I'm not actually streaming 4K because there's no reason to right now. Nor will YouTube let me. It'll let me stream 1440p, but not 2060, which is 4K. I know it's weird, but that's what it's called. 2060p. No, 2160p. Shit, my bad. 2160p. That's 4K. But YouTube will only support up to 1440p, which you can do if you magnify your 4K screen by 150%. And I've done that before, but it doesn't really add too much, and it ups the bandwidth. And so on slower in some countries, when the download, when their download is under 10 megabit per second, they'll have some issues if they're doing anything else besides watching the stream. So I stream in 1080p, even though I could do like the 4K and down sample, or what is it called, downscale, because that makes it so that more people with slower connections can still watch your stream without buffering. There you go. Some knowledge. What am I doing? Skill bonus text. Let's just make it like... Nope. Nope. Come on, brain. I can't see my keyboard. A big microphone in the way. Bam. Skill bonus. That's going to get in the way of that. Let's bring this text down. 14. Tiny Whitlow text. Let's align it to the right. Bring this down to 100. That'll work. Does that kind of get in the way? I mean, a little bit. Maybe I get rid of the flare and just call it skill bonus. That works. Okay, cool. Let's actually load the game, and because since we're just editing elements, you'll be able to like look at it. Look at it. Stat training. Let's actually go with lifting weights for strength. Boom, boom. Oh, I've got the levels already listed. That's sweet. Okay, cool. Skill bonus 1. I do want to make a change to something real quick. And I need to address a different thing too. Defaults. All of these levels are going to be defaulted to 0. I mean, they don't even need to be called at this point, but I'm just going to leave them in since I added them. Just blah, blah, blah. I could delete them, but if I want to change it back, this more works, so I'll just leave it this way. Blah, 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 blah. It's just this is how I do my stuff. Don't question the madness. Just go with it. All right. The reason why is when you look at the numbers, when you look at your stats. Let's actually go to a training. Start training. This will show nothing until there's a level 1. So that's a problem. Since I'm defaulting all these at 1, kind of weird that stat training is 0. It's fine. But see, now that this is 0 and you have 10 strength, when it hits 1, you'll have strength 11. And doesn't that like just feel better than when you hit level skill bonus 2, you have 11? You know what I mean? Like, so when I get the skill bonus of 1 for strength training, I'll have 11 strength. And then like you hit level 10 skill bonus and you have 20 strength. Like it feels right in my head. Maybe that's just OCD. Aurelia asks, will Ronin Idle be an active clicker or passive idle game? Looking forward to it. Will be both, Aurelia. You can choose to make the progress faster if you actively play it, but for the most part it can be minimized in the background, because I wrote a batch file in order to, because like right now, watch, if I minimize this, look at the progress where it's at. This is how it works in MZ by default. You see where the progress is at? It's like under half, right? And I minimize it. Okay, so if we let time pass, we would hope that it keeps on going, right? But by default, unless you do some changes and run it with some code to launch the game, it literally freezes. It does not move. It's gonna, now when we click up, it's gonna be exactly where it was when we minimized it. That's not what an idle game should do. So in playtest, it'll continue to do that. But when I deploy it to Steam, the default will launch the game with a batch file. And I'll show you the code for that real quick if you're interested. If you're working on an MZ game and you want to make sure that when you minimize it, it still keeps running, then there's some code that you can do to fix that. Now, you may be thinking, I don't need that, right? Because I have a plugin from Vigistella. And this plugin right here, let me show it off. It's got a quality of life setting that says, where's it at? Require focus, question mark, false. Now what this does is it allows it to keep running if at least 1 pixel of the screen is still visible. But if no pixels of the screen are visible, i.e. another window is up in exclusive mode, you're running like a game full screen exclusive, or you've minimized it, or even it's just in the background and you've got like a browser up full screen, it will, even with this set to false, it will stop, it will freeze. So in order to make this work, you do need this Vigistella plugin to require focus false, and also you need another thing to happen. You need to run the game exe with a batch file. So let me show you that code. Now a batch file, .bat, is a simple text file. It's just literally a text file, but it is running a specific function like as if it was running from the console, like as if you opened CMD or PowerShell. It's very similar to, for example, I've got the Cyber Baron server running here. It's literally just running it like something like from that. And so it's running this batch file, and I'm running this echo off, which you have to do so that it shows the text. Then you give it a title. This will be what it shows on the screen. And then you echo what you want it to say. This will be the text that loads on the black screen. It'll say launching Ronin Idle RPG and allowing it to continue running while minimized. Now you can make them press any key to continue if you get rid of this comment, because in batch file code, whatever it's called, if you do 2 colons like this, it comments it out. So you can choose to make them press a button or not. And then you do start, which basically means double click an exe file, run an exe file. And so the game is the name of the exe file when you deploy it. It's game.exe. So after you're saying run game exe, but run it with these conditions. Dash dash means command, and then the single dash means space, essentially. And the space means break and add a new command. So I'm saying add this command and this command and this command. Enable node worker, disable RAF throttling, disable background timer throttling, disable backgrounding dash occluded windows, disable renderer backgrounding, window style hidden, and run minimize equal true. I don't think you need these last two, but you might, and that's why I'm just leaving them in there. It's a combination of these that makes it work in different instances. I still can't find a way to make it keep running if the player presses the window key and L and locks the computer or goes into sleep mode. It still freezes. Like it doesn't like hard lock. Like when you, as soon as you come out of sleep mode, the game will continue, but it like stops its progress, you know. And there's ways to make it work where you can freeze the computer with Control L and lock it and go in sleep mode, and it'll still keep your progress. But that comes in later when you look at the real-time clock on the computer and you run calculations to make up for the difference in time that it locked and time that it is now. And then you just reward what has happened since. So that's going to take a lot of extra code, which is not in yet. But for the most part, if you run it with this batch file... Did I change something? Why does it say that? Oh yeah, because I was messing with the pause. Whatever. If you run it with this batch file, your game anyway, it will then keep going even if you like run another game in exclusive mode, or you watch a movie in full screen, or you minimize it, or you just have it blocked out of the window. So if we come back to the game now, you're going to see it didn't really do very much because it was frozen while we had minimized. We leveled up, we got a nice graphic animation. This goes to 2, and you see our strength is leveled up. And so when the game is run from Steam, it would have been like level 3 or 4 or 5 by now, because probably 3 or 4, because it would have kept going even though it was in the background. But because we're playtesting in this playtest environment, MZ's defaults will not do that. But with the Vigistella plugin, it would, like without the Vigistella plugin, it would stop right now. Like, because this is not the window that's focused on, it would literally stop. But the Vigistella plugin allows it to keep working as long as 1 pixel. All you have to do is have it like this. Just like that, and it would keep working. It's still running because you can see there's some pixels. The window is still up and running, but it's not in focus. And you can see that by looking at it here. And I don't know if you can tell, but you can see it's still moving. Now, the way that I've set it up, it looks like it will like if you look at the little screenshot while it's minimized, it still looks like it's frozen. But when you click on it, you'll see that it was actually running the whole time. Some weird little workarounds that I've had to, that I spent days trying to figure out. But I figure that is a very good start to keep it running even while someone's playing another game. That's pretty sick, right? Even while they're watching Netflix in full screen, the game is minimized, but it's still getting them progress, then that's an idle clicker. So that's pretty sick, and I'm happy about that progress on there. So I'm going to add these other components for strength, guard, intelligence, which is basically ATK, defense, magic attack, magic defense, agility, and luck. I'm using a lot of the RPG Maker's built-in JSON database so that I don't have to manually create it, but I'm switching it up and displaying it the way that I want it to look, so that I'm doing... still, even though I'm creating everything from scratch, the database is letting me have all these built-in functions and store data in a way that I don't have to manually create that, JSON file. And that's a way that that makes RPG Maker very useful and look good in this situation, because it's saving me, the dev, a lot of work had I wanted to code this from scratch using just libraries. So it still makes sense to use engines even if you want to do everything from scratch. I'm not doing everything from scratch, right? There's a lot that's being handled by the engine and the database. So I don't manually have to code when I want to like run the fishing function. Because if you look at this, like I could still code this in like 2 or 3 different languages right now. Like everything that you see here, I could write in a few languages. But it's so much easier to point and click with RPG Maker to do it, isn't it? Yes, it is. So eventing is like coding in that you have to understand the logic and know what you're doing and know what has to happen and what variables need to be changed, what needs to be called, what needs to be checked, how do you handle your conditions, where you need to do loops and all that sort of thing. So like if you're making systems in RPG Maker, you're developing coding skills, but you're using shortcuts, buttons, quality of life features, de-skilled optimizations, de-skilled tools in order to make that stuff happen without worrying about syntax error and or the time it would take to manually write it. So I learned how to code by eventing in RPG Maker, essentially. Because when I go to write code, I just need to know the syntax, and I'll figure out what is supposed to happen for the most part. Because of my time and experience in RPG Maker, specifically in MV, because I've spent the most time in MV, but I'm using MZ more and exclusively now. The Vigistella background focus is really specific. This is fascinating stuff. Cool. I'm happy that I'm able to provide you with some value. Batman. What happened with the idea of calculating the time the game was in background and then simulating events? Well, that's still there, Aerosis. How you doing, Aerosis, by the way? It's good to see you. It's still there. It's just... I haven't put it in yet. I don't want to do that yet. I have to make a lot of systems, and that's going to be a big roadblock because already it's going to be a limiting factor. I'll tell you right now. I'm not going to allow you to craft like metal bars, AFK, over like you're going to have to You're going to have to be there and have the window active or minimized. But like not like, because there are offline modes, right, where you can close the game. The game is closed, and when you come back, progress is granted to you based on the last thing you were doing when you closed the game. And that's cool, and I like that idea, but that's going to be limited. You're only going to be allowed to do the harvesting stuff, not the crafting stuff. For example, if you were just going right here and chopping wood, and then that's it. You're just gaining resources over time. That's an easy code. I can do that very fast. That's not a big problem. I'll do something like that probably. And so like if you save the game and you close it, when you come back, if you load it, it can say you've gained 200 regular logs while you were gone or whatever. I'm sure I'll have a cap like 8 hours or 12 hours or something. And then you'll get rewarded that while while it was closed. But here's another thing to check. If you're smithing, like if you're trying to craft ingots, it's really hard to do that because it requires a lot of conditionals. Already to smelt this, if I click this, you're lacking the required items to make this. So do I want to let the player use all of their resources to like convert the ore into ingots and reward those over time? Like I can, it's possible, but man, it'll be a big spaghetti monster. So I don't know if I want to allow that for smithing. Another one I'll be doing is not lumberjack, but what's it called when you're processing lumber? I mean, it's kind of like a lumberjack thing, but it's like milling. Is it a miller?
Are you cutting it into planks?
Yeah, like what's the
Yeah, it's a sawmill.
It's a miller, right?
Yeah.
Milling.
Yeah, you're milling.
So I'll have another one that's like smithing, but it'll be called milling, and it'll turn the raw logs into planks and lumber.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. So like that will also be not a thing that you can do while the game is closed. Only while the game is either, like you could still be watching Netflix in full screen and have that going. But like if you lock your computer or close the program, that's not going to be a process that I'm going to easily be able to let you get credit for. So you'd have to come back and start that process and then minimize the game and watch a movie, or just stand there and watch it, whatever you want to do. you've been wanting to replace all your events with just a single long script command, I don't recommend you do that. But hey, it's your game. If you want to, then why the hell not? Go for it. Sometimes it pays to have a few different events going on. Why did my lifting oh, because I was like doing something else. My guy needs to keep lifting. I need to address another thing that I talked about it on the Discord over here in MZMMO Run Idle yesterday. At the end of the stream yesterday, there was an error on the last thing I showed. I was using a label, and the way that it worked out is if you had the it would just stop working. It wasn't right. So I changed it and I made this system. I'll show you in game. This event is shorter. It works better. You don't have to do any jump to labels. It also, I changed the numbers. So instead of 1 to 100, which I made just to showcase that the bar was filling, I made it so that it takes 10 seconds, as you can see here in the wait 600 frames, 60 frames a second. So when you do a wait in a parallel process, it's like a timer. And I'm saying, I want to do this code once every 10 seconds. So I'm waiting 600. So when this switch turns on, 10 seconds later, it will do this, and then it'll keep going as long as this switch is still on. 10 seconds later, 10 seconds later, yada, yada, yada. So every 10 seconds, I want to check to see if the stamina, if the player's stamina is less than equal to 999. And then I'm going to check to see if double stamina switch buff is on. And if it is, and they have 999, I'm going to give them 1. Otherwise, I'll give them 2 because they've got the double switch on. But if they have less than equal to 999 and the switch is off, it will give them 1 stamina. And that's it. And that's how it works. So you can see that we have a stamina bar over here. And it's been filling up. Every 10 seconds, it's at 45 now. Now it's at 46. Every 10 seconds, it adds 1 to the stamina bar. And you know, when we started, it was 1 to 100, and then every second it went up because I wanted it to fill fast, and I wanted it to fill up fast, and I wanted to show off that it was working and whatnot. So we did that in a very fast process. But the point of an idle game isn't to sit here and spam your stamina. So this will be a semi-active system where it takes 10 seconds to fill up and it goes to 1,000, which will break down into 2.7777777 hours. So basically 2 hours, 45 minutes, something like that. So you can come back every 3 hours and use up all your stamina on specialty tasks, which will make the game have an active side, not just a passive side. And then you'll get bonuses for spending your stamina doing certain things, doing processes that will require stamina to do. Like, for example, we set up a button to test it. And so we have 51. If we use it, we're also not going to use this stupid show text. It's just a temporary thing. So you can see it's taking the 10 stamina. You see it's taking the 10 stamina. It's taking the 10 stamina. It's taking it. But if you don't have 10 stamina, it says you're lacking it, and it won't take any. And we wrote that in the HUD maker with a combination of the common events to make the stamina timer go on, and as you saw. So that is handled right here inside the gain stamina switch. So we turn that switch on at the beginning, and once this switch is on, it's a parallel process that just happens once every 10 seconds. It's going to run that check that I just showed you in Discord. Speaking of Discord, links in the description below. Come join us. Come hang out with us. We'd really appreciate that. It's where shit goes down. Check out our aquarium. Look at our fishy boy. Look at that fish boy right there. T drew this sprite. We made
He's
it for
a good fishy.
He's a good boy. Look at that good boy.
We named him yet.
His name is Fishy, Fishy, Fishy.
I think he should be Gilfus.
Gilfus?
He looks like a Gilfus to me.
Okay. Sure.
Call him Gil for short, you know? Get it? Dun-dun. Okay, I want to go in the corner now.
All right, honey. All right. All right, I'm going to add these components real quick, and then we'll wrap. But let me just let me get a little bit more work done. We had some good questions, and I also went off on some tangents and whatnot. But I do want to finish a little bit of work on this project. I got to add some more components, but we're basically just going to copy-paste some stuff here. So I'm going to copy-paste this component, drag it under the defense value, right-click and edit, and I'm going to call this one the defense bonus value. and it's going to check the guard level. Simple enough. Bada bing, bada boom, boom. Drag it down. We're going to click this, copy paste this, drag this down to magic attack, edit. This will be our magic attack bonus value, and it's going to check our intelligence level. See how smart we are? And it will snap as we bring this down here. It should snap. Is it snapping? Yeah, there we go. Copy paste this, bring this down to magic defense bonus. So we'll check our wisdom. No, willpower. Willpower level. I've given all the stats pseudonames, which is cool. I like that idea. I think you should do that with your game. AGI, which is our speed level. And finally, the LUK bonus, which is our charm level. Bang. Boom. Let's go ahead and... Are these not all snapped? I feel like these aren't snapped exactly. That's better. Okay, that looks right. Save that, and it should update dynamically because all we did was change the HUD maker. Boom, and now we have skill bonus. So you see their total number, and then you see the number that's being granted through skill bonuses. See, this number will change as we add equipment. So I wanted these to be different. And I'm going to do an on hover pretty soon, that when you hover over, well, right now, like, there's nothing here. This is the background. There's no gear equipped. This is just to show you, the image in the background is to show you that this is the head slot, the necklace slot, the cape, you know, left and right hands, accessory, armor, like whatever you want to interpret these as. But when you click on them, it'll open up another scene. Like this one will show you all the helmets that you possess. And when you hover over them, it should give you the stats on each helmet. And you click on it, and it's simple. You click on it to pick a new one. You click on it to equip it. It should be very simple. And when you click on it, I'll run the code that actually equips the character in game, which will update these stats dynamically. And it's handled without me having to do the subtraction and addition, which is fantastic, because I'll add these in the database as weapons and armors, and I'll equip them to the player as such. And so a lot of that will be handled on its own. And then when I check the parameters, they'll be based on what's equipped and what bonus has been added to it and its current starting link and based on its level and whatnot. So when we make our level, we can't really make our level system until we do some other systems like make gear, and then we got to make enemies. And I want to add some more polish and add the text for when you can show the player descriptions and whatnot. And then, so the goal is to make a combat system. So we're going to have a combat system inside this game, but it won't be like side view battle. It's not your typical turn-based RPG. It'll be more like an idle kind of RPG. And I think it'll be pretty cool the way I want to do it. I'm going to have the player be able to equip up to 4 skills, or maybe 3. I think I'll start with 3 and maybe additionally add a 4th. And they'll all have their own timers. And your basic attack timer will be depending on the weapon you use. So if you're using like a great axe, it'll take 3 or 4 seconds to fill it up the bar. fill up the bar to swing. But if you're using like a sword, it'll take 2, a dagger maybe like 1 or 1.5, something that's a real faster attack. So the damage output will scale. So the highest damage weapon won't always be the best one. You'll have to do the math on how long it takes and the damage it does, and you'll get I'm going to do the math for the player though and calculate a DPS value. So when you look at the weapon, it'll tell you its speed, it'll tell you its raw damage, and then it will tell you its DPS score. That way you can see that this dagger is actually stronger than this great axe because its DPS is higher. But then there'll be other things to consider, like armor penetration, like maybe the great axe will strike through defense better than the dagger or something. Well, I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. I mean, piercing weapons probably will have better armor penetration, but that's a little complicated. We're going to get there when we get there. I'm not rushing into it. I want to make things look and feel good as we go along to do that. So that's basically where we're going to end today's live stream anyway. Thank you guys so much for coming to the live stream. Get your games in. If you're finishing it today, you've got half a day. Less than half a day.
Plenty time.
Plenty of time to finish your submission. 11 hours. Submit your game. Don't do it last minute. Submit it in a few hours. Get it done and submit it as soon as you can. I would like to have a lot of entries. It'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Fish I'd like to fight. Fish I'd like to fry. Drifty's personal state. Ouch.
Sorry.
That's all right. Just in time for the end. What's up, Skepsis D? How you doing?
Aw, sorry,
Yeah.
Skepsis.
Arrow says, I'm looking forward to seeing progress on this project. It's an interesting topic. Thanks, Aerosis. Yeah, I'm having fun with it. It's a really cool idea that I think RPG Maker is suitable for if you consider that you could use other tools like RPG Maker's RPG Maker, MZ, no, HUD Maker Ultra. So you can use MZ and HUD Maker Ultra to really make everything custom, and I don't know. I think it's really a cool idea that I want to play a game like this. I like these games, so I think it's always a good idea to try to make a game that you enjoy playing. If you enjoy playing a game, there's a good chance that somebody else might also enjoy playing a game.
You're welcome, Sir Legna.
11 hours to make the entire game. You haven't started yet? If you haven't started yet, maybe this isn't the jam for you.
No, you can do it. Just do it. It's going to be great.
I don't know,
It'll be fine. Drifty will play your entry. It'll be awesome. He won't rage at all.
I don't think you should start now. If you haven't already spent at least a few really good days.
Come on, guys.
Maybe
just
a good solid week on it.
Do it for me.
Don't. Don't submit trash. It'll just get disqualified.
You only have a 1 in 4 chance of getting it.
That's true. Submit your trash. Just submit it. Just kidding. But seriously. Now they don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, we boosted the signal one last time. Love you guys very much. Thank you so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. I would really appreciate it if you come join us on Discord. We also have a Patreon. I did a few minor updates to the tiers today. Nothing really notable. Just updated some stuff to say that I'm supporting MZ now. Like for those designer tiers, I'm not going to guarantee that I will make something in MV for you. But I will do my best to make it work in MZ for you. So, moving forward, just made it a few small adjustments. But anyway, we have the Patreon if you're interested in supporting us that way, all the way down to $3 a month. Love you guys very much. Please join us. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Goodbye.
Bye.
What was his name? But
Gilfis. Yeah, just think fish gills.
Gillfish.
Gilfis. Yeah, it's like gillfish, but it's a name.
I'm going to call him Gillfish.
I knew somebody whose last name was Gilfis.
How about we just call him Gil?
All right, we can call him Gil, but Gilfis is way better.
No, his name's Gil. That little dude.
Okay.
He's a good boy.
He's Gil.
Bye, guys.